Good evening, good evening, good evening, everyone. I hope you are all doing well this evening. I know that I am. So tonight should be a good evening. Tonight we are going to be looking at .NET, C#, and databases. I am attempting to go further down my development track and learn the basics of back-end development. That's really been my goal for the last several months. I do a lot of front-end development as my day job, but I really want to be a true full-stack developer. So that is the goal. And so we're going to be learning some C# because C# is a good language if you want to do full-stack development. Yes, I could just do full-stack development in JavaScript, but I don't know. I think it'd be fun to learn a new language, and this is a compiled language, so that's an extra little bit of fun, is it gets compiled down to a single executable, which is cool. And it's very performant. It's a strongly typed language, and why not? Why not? It could be fun. So let's go ahead and jump into the editor, and we'll talk about what we're going to do tonight. All right. So like I said, we're going to be doing .NET, and I want to be creating a project. It's going to need a back-end component, and I'm not quite sure what the front end's going to look like, but I'll tell you what my idea is, and then you can decide if you're on board with this idea, or if you think it's stupid. You let me know that too. A lot of times okay, so a little bit of background. My family is homeschooling again. And even if you're not homeschooling, let's say that you are a parent, you've got kids, maybe you want to do the whole point tracking thing where you've got points for them doing something. I don't know. Maybe they get points for doing their chores around the house. Maybe they get points on the fridge, a star, whatever, for doing something, for memorizing something, for getting their spelling words right, whatever. Maybe you've got a bunch of different things that they can get points for, and if they do XYZ thing, then you tell them, if you get this many points, I'm going to reward you. Well, what happens when you lose that thing? Maybe the thing on the fridge gets torn down by the 2-year-old and you can't salvage it, and it goes in the bin, and you forget to write down that point system again. Well, wouldn't it be cool if we could have a digital points tracker, and maybe that points tracker even had an online database so that you could keep that forever. Maybe you want to make maybe you want to mount an old iPad on the wall and see the point trackers on the wall on the web page, something like that, so that the kids can keep track of them at all times. They can see them, they're in their face, and you as the parent, you've always got your phone with you, so you can always take down their points, easy peasy. That's the idea. And I could see an end goal of having maybe you could create your own badges as a parent. You could or maybe the kids create the badges. They decide what the short-term goals are going to be along the way towards getting the end goal thing. So it's kind of like gamifying whatever you want. Let's do all this kind of gamifying that happens online, but let's decide to apply it to anything we want. So that's what we're going to be working on tonight, and we're going to call this project Pointlify, because we're going to pointlify things. So that's the idea. Well, we'll see if it works out. So we need a new .NET project. Projects and .NET. And the first thing we need is we need a backend. And remember, I'm learning. I can do this a lot faster in JavaScript and a Node backend, but I'm not going to do that. Or I could do it even faster in Laravel, because I know that. But I'm not going to do that because we're learning C#. So let's create a new what do we need? We need a Should we start with a console app? So here's the pieces that I know I'm going to need. I know that I'm going to need an API. Maybe that's where I'll start. Maybe I'll start with the API. I could start with a console application, but then I'll have that. I know at some point I'm going to need to abstract my backend solution into a library, and that library will then talk to my database. But for now, I think maybe an API project would be the easiest to kind of do this with. So let's make an API. So we have ASP.NET Core Web API right there. So let's make a .NET new web API. And the output will be Pointlify API. Do we want an underscore? Or do we want a dash? Pointlify API. Actually, what we'll do, we'll make a new directory. We'll call it Pointlify. And in here, we're going to .NET new web API. And this is going to be in our API directory. That makes sense. I hope everyone is well tonight. I've got my coffee. It is caffeinated. Whew, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. Okay, so we got our API. And let's open this up in VS Code. Yes, we want to build the required assets, please. And we've got our program right here. So this program is it's a website. I need to turn down this music because I feel like I'm yelling all the time. So, all right, cool. All right, let's go ahead and start this project. So we've got a Docker container for this. So I'm going to get into my Docker containers. .NET. And we're going to get into this Pointlify. We're going to go in the API. And we're going to do .NET watch. And we're going to run it on this particular port. Some projects have trouble loading. I don't like the sounds of that. It looks like it opened though. So let's get our browser open. Thank you, Edge, for updating, I guess. Can we go to localhost 8080? Okay, so we're gonna need to make a route for this. Okay, so let's make a new. All right, I probably should have done this setup off stream, but that's okay. So we're going to copy a Docker nginx site asp.conf to Docker nginx sites /pointlify.conf. And now we need to edit it. Come on. There we go. I'm going to change this name to pointlify.test. and everything else we can keep the same. And I need to open my, now what I'm doing right now is I'm editing my Etsy hosts file on my computer. It'll probably open here. Yep, here we go. Oh, my code editor is running super slow. All right, we gotta save this as an administrator. All right, cool. And if we go ahead and restart we need to restart Nginx. Now, if we go to pointlify .test 8080. Can't reach it. What did we fail to do? Maybe our Etsy hosts file. It's not Etsy hosts, we're on Windows, but I can't remember their host file. It's basically the same thing. Yep, pointlify is right there. So it's in that host file. And what's this window? Let's go ahead and we'll restart that. We'll restart that .NET watch now that our Nginx is set up. Wow, that is unfortunate that we're having an issue here. All right, well. Do we have to point it to our files? I don't think we do. I know that this doesn't matter, but it's gonna bug me that that's not right. Pointlify.test, and it goes to .NET 5299, which is the port that we've specified. We restart Nginx. Let's see if we can ping it. Ping pointlify.test 8080. So that's hitting localhost like it should. Wait a second. What is Swagger? There's a route for Swagger. Maybe that's what's happening, is I need to get to Swagger. Where does it build that? It has use it. Okay, where are you redirecting? Oh, I'm sure this has Swagger. Yeah, use Swagger right there. But I don't remember what the route is that it sets up for Swagger by default. It's something like index.swagger. So that means it should be something like 8080 index swagger. You know what? In order to find this out, what we can do real easy is we can go to this project and we can just open it here. .net run. And that'll open it up locally on Windows. Like it'll have all the automatic routing and all that kind of stuff. Or it should anyway. All right, localhost 709. This will be a SSL route. Yeah. It didn't do that one either. Wow, it really does not like this. Five, two. Okay, that's what it's supposed to be. Swagger index. Okay. Swagger index HTML. Cool. All right, so let's get back into this one. We'll watch it. We'll put it on the port we're specifying. We wait for it to build. There's a package dependency that is not being found. Okay. And it's swagger index.html. There we go. Okay, so it's up and running. We just couldn't find it. That's cool. So we've got the weather forecast route right there. This is all the default stuff that comes when you set up a new API project. So let's take a look. We've got our use Swagger, our use Swagger UI, our use HTTP direction. And if we look here, somewhere in here is going to be our routes. Create builder args. Got our weather forecast class right here. We have some controller. We have a controller. And here's our API route controller. Right. Cool. And this is under namespace API.controllers. So builder services add controllers. I bet that's what's doing it for us. But I had learned this before using the minimal API, which in the minimal API, you don't have to use a controller. You know what? We're not going to go down this route. I know that I've taken all this time setting this stuff up, but we're not going to go down this route. .NET new console. We're just going to do a console application because we're going to be developing the database, getting our ideas in order. And so we'll do a console application for that console. All right, we'll exit this one. Close this window down. Open this back up. Oh, I accidentally opened the wrong thing. File, open, Pointlify, console. Okay. All right, much simpler. We got our console application. Required assets. Yes, please. We're gonna get into our compose .NET, Pointlify, console, and .NET run. And we should get a nice little output right here. Hello world. Cool. So I've got our console application. Now I want a database for this to talk to. And I've got adminer. And we'll go ahead and log into it. And we're going to create a new database called Pointlify. Okay. And we're going to do everything with this setup. We're going to be creating tables. We're going to be able to update tables. So we're not going to do anything more from here. We'll be learning some SQL as well. Okay, so first things first, we need to connect to our database. So we're going to get some packages to do that. We can close all this irrelevant stuff. And we need Microsoft. No, let's go to NuGet. And we need the MySQL data so we can connect to our database. Hey, how's it going? Hope you're doing well this evening. All right, we're gonna add that package. And there's one other package that I know I'm going to get, and it's called Dapper. It's going to be the little wrapper that helps us connect. Well, it won't help us connect. It's the wrapper that will help us issue our commands. Dapper. We'll delete that boilerplate. Which is so fun to delete the boilerplate in the console application because it's just 2 lines. It's not like the API boilerplate where there's, I mean, it's just boilerplate there, but there's still a fair few files for boilerplate. It's easier to wrap your head around this. So let's go ahead and make sure that we're using Dapper and using, is it Microsoft or MySQL? .data. Yeah, MySQL.data. And this is a little idiosyncrasy with VS Code. For whatever reason, when you add NuGet packages, or at least when I add NuGet packages, it doesn't realize they're there. And so I end up restarting VS Code. And now it's happy. Now it knows they exist. So, and now I realize that I accidentally didn't shut down my container properly. So I'm gonna just bring them down and then bring them back up again. In my mind, I just can't handle that there's a dangling console connection there. All right, down and up. Cool. All right, so we need to connect to our database. So we'll say DB connection, DB is equal to a new connection, or a new DB connection. What are you underlining? Is this not the right type? My SQL data client that might be what I want. I still think it's this one. If it's the right one, it'll ask me for the query string. I still am new enough to this that I forget what the types are that I need. I know that I need an SQL connection of some sort. Are you gonna be happy now? Aha! I think we might be. Yeah, this is looking good. Yes, perfect. So we need a connection string. So we're gonna make one and we're gonna call it a private. We're gonna make it private string on string equals. The server is DB. The database is, what do we call it? Pointlify. Pointlify. The UID is root, and the password is DB password. Okay, what are you underlying this? Namespaces cannot contain members such as field methods or statements. Is it internal? What's going on? I just want a string. Can I just say string? You happy with that? Cool. Con string. Okay, so we should be connected there. So if we're connected, we can say IDB connection connect add. We'll do that after. Let's make a table just so that we can do a simple get. Oh, my session expired because I restarted the containers. DB password. We'll make a table just so that we can create. So we'll say dummy table. Column name. It'll have an ID that auto increments. It can't be null. Actually, we'll call this something. So we'll call it fruits. And a fruit can have a name, which is a string or a varchar with a length of 50. We don't want any super long strings. I'll leave that alone, and it can have a color. So we'll call that a varchar as well. All right, and save. And we're going to put a new item. We're going to call this apple. And we're going to give it a color of red. Save. All right, so we have one red apple. So we'll work towards getting our red apple. So get equals connection dot query, and we'll see if we can do this. So select all from fruit. Did I call it fruit or fruits? Fruits. Good. Fruits. What are you wanting about? Cannot oh yeah. This is wrong. It's an enumerable fruits. We'll call that all fruits. All right, so it's angry because we don't have a fruits type. So let's go ahead and make a model directory, models, and we'll create a fruit model. Fruits. Fruit model. CS. So this needs a namespace so that we can get to it. So it's in console.models, and we're making a public class, fruits, and we'll say public int ID, and we just need a getter for this because we're not going to be setting the ID. It's auto incrementing. Public string called name, and we'll make a getter and a setter for this, and public string color, and it will also have a getter and a setter. Cool. So we have a fruits model. We'll need to import it or use it. Console.models. And now we can say that we can tell what the type is. So it's a fruits, it's an enumerable of fruit model. Oh. Maybe I have to actually say fruit model. That did go that far? No? Oh wait, what did I name the class? I named the class fruits. I need to name it fruit model. There we go. That's why the autocompleted fruits. Okay, so now what are you angry about? Cannot implicitly convert enumerable dynamic to. Okay, so let's tell this that it's going to be getting fruit models. All right, cool. So then, just so that we can see that we're getting our fruits, we'll say for each, we have for loop. There we go. For, nope, this is the wrong kind of for. We have for each loop, or for each statement. Okay, for fruit in all fruits, we are going to console log, no, not console log, console write line. Have to forgive me, I'm a JavaScript person. Write line fruit, fruit dot name. So whatever the name of the fruit is, fruit name is fruit color. Okay, and this should come back with apple if we've connected to our database correctly. So let's go ahead and compose XC into our .NET, get into our Pointlify console application, .NET run, and let's see if we get our apple. Not looking promising. Ah, we got it. Why did that take so long? That took forever. Let's see if it does that again, or if it gets faster. Okay, it had to build. So now that it's built, it should go faster. Cool. And it's giving us a warning that these things could be null, because it wants me to say that that these could be null. That's what it's wanting. Granted, in our database we have not specified that they could be null, but anyway. Cool. So that's how. So we've connected to our database, and we can get stuff out of it. Now, this little fruit thing is not what we want to do tonight. We want to make a game. So let's make ourselves some pseudocode here, or not pseudocode, just a comment. It's just a comment. How do you do multi-line comments in C#? Oh, that works. Okay. So what do we need to do? We need to be able to, as a person, we need to create a new point bucket. I don't know. So we need to be able to create a what do I even want to call this? Some sort of points section, a points type. Whatever our points are related to. I mean, a point bucket is fine, I guess. I just don't like the word bucket. A point. What the points are for is what it is. It's what the points are for. We'll call it a bucket for now till we're done. So that point bucket must have an ID so that we can get to it. This is a relational database, so we need an ID. We need the players or the children. Yeah, players will be fine. And we need their points in that bucket. So it should look something like it'll create a table called I don't know, spelling words or something like that for memorizing their spelling words. And we need to know who it is. So player and their points for that thing. So yep, is that all we need though? And I want to know what their goal point is, if there is a goal. Goal total. So if there is a goalpost, like they need to get 60 points or they need to get 40 points or whatever. And then there needs to be a active and inactive. We probably want a timestamp for created, updated timestamp, and a deleted timestamp. Yeah, then we won't need active and inactive. Because we'll just say if there's no deleted timestamp that's active. Okay. ID, player name, points, goal total, created timestamp, updated timestamp, deleted timestamp. We'll go with that for now. So this is our bucket. Is that? All right. So we know that we need to be able to create a table. Do we want to create a table? Yeah. Yeah. Do I have a schema tool on my computer? Nope, I don't. All right. Just trying to think what else we need. So if we're able to create these, then each table, nah, we don't want a new table for each different goal, do we? Yeah, we do. We want to create a new table for each goal. I'm just trying to think this through. So we could have, for instance, in our database, we could have each new item. A goal name. I'm just trying to think how to relate our players to our table or to our goal. That's what I'm trying to think of. You know what? We're just learning, so we're not going to think too hard on this. We'll come back to this if it turns out to be a terrible idea. All right, so we don't need this anymore. We don't want to get anything back. We want to void create spelling table equals connection. I believe this is execute. We're not getting anything back, but is it going to require a type? We'll find out. Create table. We need to learn how to create a table in SQL. SQL statement create table. create table, table name, and then the columns with their data types. Cool. And we'll go ahead and put, now let's just copy that. And we'll paste it and comment it. Create table, just like you would think it would be. The nice thing about SQL queries is they're very logical. Create table, and we'll call it spelling goal. Yeah, I like it. And it's going to have, like we said, it'll have an ID, and it's an int. And I'm gonna have to go back to learn how do we SQL statement identity. Or how do we say that it's an auto incrementing one? Whoops, that's not what I wanted. How do we say it's an auto increment? SQL create table ID. Yeah, identity column. Okay, ID int identity. Okay, let's try that. We'll never know until we try. So the identity column, we're just telling it that this is our identity. This is going to be auto incremented. One. At least that's what we're going for, not null. And then we'll say our goal name is a string. A varchar 50. Our player name, which is a varchar 50. Points are an int. Goal total is an int. Created timestamp is a timestamp. Is that what we call it? Yep, timestamp. Cool. Updated at timestamp. Let's just call this updated at, and we'll call created at created, updated, deleted, timestamp. All right, what's this? Cannot. It's not going to return anything is all I'm saying, man. That's all I'm saying. Void is correct because we're not returning anything. Saying it's enumerable doesn't make any sense. I mean, I could just not give it a variable name. I could just call it. We'll just do that for now. Well, you know what? Let us see. Oh, we need one of those guys. And let's see if it works. I mean, why not? Okay. You have an error in your SQL syntax. And it says line 1. Well, the whole thing is line 1. I don't know if we have identity. Maybe there's an auto increment. Create SQL create ID int auto increment. ID int not null auto increment. Incorrect table definition. There can only be one auto column and it must be identified as a key. Okay. Key. Did we do it? Did we do a thing? Hey! Look at that! Look at that. So I have an int 11 auto increment. Let's see what int auto. Yeah? Yeah? I mean, these can all be nullable. I don't know if we want. Yes, nullable. Huh. Cool. So I'm just gonna add a new item here just to say muffin. Got 1 point. The goal total is 10. We created it now, and there's. Can these be null? Do they have to be these? No, they have to be. Oh man. Wait, incorrect. Oh. Let's try again. Muffin. 1. The goal is 10 points. Created now. Save. I would rather those were empty, I think. But maybe that's not wise. Yeah, I think I'd rather they were nullable. So if we were creating those, we would just say null, I think. Let's see what that does. If we delete this, let's delete that table. We'll drop that. let's do some formatting so that we can see. Nope, not there. Can we? No, we can't format it because it's a string. Really? That's kind of annoying. Oh well, let's just run this again. See if we got what we wanted in our table. Nope. Unknown data type null. How do you say is nullable? Create is null. Null is the default value. Default null. Okay. Default null. Default null. And let's try that again. Nope. Unknown data type default. Maybe it's an underscore. Nope. Oh, it comes after the type. Okay. So it's a timestamp primarily, but the default no. Default no. What are we doing? Run that. Invalid default value for updated. Maybe a timestamp is not supposed to be null. SQL timestamp default null. Maybe we don't have to say default. Maybe we just insert null. Okay, so that ran. What did we get in our database? Yep, they can now be nullable. So if we add a new item and we say muffin got a point and there's a total of 10 points and we save. Cool. All right. Schema diagram. I want to make a schema. Anybody in the chat, what's a good schema program? I know there's a I know there's a MySQL one. MySQL Workbench. I think that's the one. Is that a good one? MySQL Workbench. Is it free? Anybody out there know? Yeah, thumbs up. Okay, good. No, we gotta download it. We've downloaded it. Now we're installing it. All right. It's connected to stuff. Interesting. Okay, I don't actually want to connect to anything. I just want to create a schema. New model? Is that what we make? Oh man, we've got a new tool now. Okay. This is looking familiar. So we can have, maybe this is not the easiest way to go about this. So it has an ID. Add some columns. Okay, so we have an ID. And it's an int. And it's the primary key. Not null. Unique. Absolutely. Auto incremented. Generated. Cool. All right, so this is the bucket. So, or the goal. A goal. No. A goal can have a name. A goal can have players. A goal can have a goal total. And that's an int. Come on. Where's my I just want a number. There we go. Int. Players. No. Can a goal have players? Yeah. Okay. What do players have? So let's make a new table. So players. Players have an ID. Yep, unique, auto incrementing. Generated. No, auto incremented. Oh. Yep. Players can have a name. An ID and a name. Oh, we're out of music. We need some music. For now, that's all we're going to give them. Away. I need to delete this whole column. I don't know why this is here. Can you connect these two things? So this players is not a varchar, but it's some sort of an array with IDs in it. What do we call that in database terms? Because it should just have a list of IDs. Do we store that as JSON? Let's look it up. SQL array of int. Is this the way I should store it is the real question. Store array of int in MySQL. foreign key. Is that what I want? Is that a thing? I'm a little confused about this. Let's close some of these. I mean, I think these people are on the way. Yeah, that's right. So I think this guy is right. So I have a goal which has, it does not have players. Let's delete that. So delete. So goal has a name and it has a total. We have players who have a name and an ID. And then we have another table. Players. This is a new way of thinking for me. So a goal has a name and a total. Players have a name. Players can be attached to a goal. Players have points. Those points reference a goal, though. Those points are against a goal. Do we think about this from the point of perspective of the goal, though, or the point of perspective of the players? Where are the points? Points. They relate to points have a player and it has a goal. Goals have players. Players have points. those points are related to a goal. Points. And that is also going to be an array of ints. So players have a name, they have points. Points. The points table will have the player that it relates to and the goal it relates to. You can't have array as a column. All value in a column must be a unit. Okay, cool. So that is, you can't have an array. Cannot have an array. Okay, in that case, okay, so a goal has a name. Okay. So our goal then is what we're going to build off of. Our goal has a name, a goal name. Goal name as a total. Each goal has a player name on it. A player ID. Current points. Int. Okay, so each goal has the name of the goal, the goal's total, if they want to put a total, the player's ID, and from the ID we can get their name and their point, or their name if we want to. This table can go away. Delete. Current points. Okay, so we're just gonna end up with two tables. Okay. Is that all I need? So what I want is what I'm thinking about is that I want for people to be able to create a pointified thing. That thing will have a name. It'll have a total if they want to set a total. They can set the player who's playing it. Yeah, this is what I'm getting confused on. Okay, let's try adding that to our database and just see. We'll see how we go. We have an ID, a goal name, a player name. Let's not have a player name. Let's have a player int. A player ID, I should say. Player ID. That's an int. Points. Current points. Current points. Okay, I think that's what I want. So let's delete this table. Goals. Let's run that. All right. So we have a goals table. Yeah. All right. We also need a players table. Execute. I could do this easier in the database, but nah. You know what? We've done this. It's cool. We don't need to do it again. Yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it. Create table players. And players have an ID. It's an int. It's not null. And it's the key. And it's auto incrementing. And they have a name. And that's a varchar 50. And we'll delete all of our tables. I'm going to get rid of fruits as well because we're not going to use it. And if we run this, oh, Okay, hit. Drop. Oh man. Create table, players, ID. Try again. My cat scared me to death. Ah, okay. I need to close that. I know that I'm not supposed to drop tables willy-nilly like this, but I'm going to anyway. All right, no errors, so that should have created our 2 tables, goals, and players. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. Don't need that anymore. Don't need that. Now, those aren't things that we want to do all the time. That's just something we want to do to set up the application. For now, we're gonna... do we want to have like a... Nah, I don't really want to do the... We could create a setup script kind of a thing. So let's say add goal. Void add goal. Connection, execute, insert, into goals. Let's say that we just want to insert the goal name. SQL query insert. Yep, insert, we name them. Yep, and then we do values. Okay. So into the goal name. Actually, let's make players first. Let's make players for our game. Add player. And you need to pass a name. And you need to pass a connection. SQL connection. Connection, execute. Is there an insert? No. Is this actually a query or is it an execute? I think it's an execute. insert into goals. No, insert into players a name. Values name. I think that'll work. So let's say console write. I'll store this as add a player to the game. Console read line. This will be string player name equals and I know we need to do some validation here, but I'm not going to do that right now. We'll say add player, and we'll pass the player name and the connection. Yes, it could be null. It's not, but I mean, it could be. Let's not be lazy. If player name is not null, then we do this. Else, we keep asking the question. Actually, no. That's not how we do this. While player name is null, let's see if that works. I don't know if that's going to work. My logic could be terrible. It probably is. Let's see. Add a player to the game. Daniel. Ooh, it got angry. Unknown column Daniel in field list. Okay, so something is wrong with my query. Let's see, did the database yell? Did it? Yeah, it didn't do anything. Good. Huh. This happens sometimes. I don't know what causes it, but now I can't see what is happening. So I've got to exit and re-enter. I don't know what causes that, but it happens every once in a while. Okay, something's wrong with my insert statement. So we insert into the table name. We give it the parameter. You know what? It's not a string. There. Yep. Now I gotta exit. Connecting again. .NET. Let's go ahead and clear. .NET run. Daniel. Okay, let's see if it added me into. It did. Cool. So we can now add players to our goals. That's cool. So let's try to add a goal. Actually, before we do that, let's see if our do while is working. I just put an empty. Yeah, that's not okay. How do we need to prevent that? If name as length. Is there a way to say, can we say that in C#? Length is greater than 0. Then we do this. But if not, we're not going to do it. So it wasn't equal to null. Huh. And player name. This is really where we should be putting it. Length is greater than 0. Ah, there's is null or empty. Okay. Let's try that. Is null. Come on, do that. Show me that again. Use string is null or empty. If I just do control dot. Oh, that is cool. Oh, that is sick. That is so cool. So if the string is not null or empty. Okay. I'm gonna remove this just so we can test that particular part. Cool, it did not call that function, but it also didn't start us over. Else. Please, or you must give the new player a name. delete that. It doesn't continue to do it over and over. Can we say while? Okay, let's reverse these. Let's say while the string is null or empty, we do this. And then if that passes, we don't need an else statement. Let's try that. Yes, that's what we want. Muffin. Nice. Nice. So we have players. Well, now's a good time to write an update method because we need to update that console. Let's see. I'm gonna put this. Put our alarm methods down. Okay, at this point, so we don't have to have a main method. It's not a requirement in .NET 6. But I'm just wondering if I want to, just for structure. Update player. And we need to pass an ID so we know which player to update. We need to pass the MySQL connection. And we say connection. Execute. You know what? We could create one because these are all going to be executes. We'll keep it like this for now and refactor later. So we're going to we're not inserting, are we? SQL update query. Is it called update? Yeah. Okay. It is called update. So update. Let's just look up SQL query CRUD. And we should just get all the SQL CRUD statements here. Insert into, read is select, update is update, delete. Okay. update players where name. We call set first. Set name equals we pass the ID because we need it, and we pass the name because that's the only thing we can update in this one. Name equals name. Name. Where ID equals ID, I think. I think that's correct. I think that's correct. We'll see. Why are you angry? Execute. There we go. Console write. What person would you like to update? Player ID. It's an int. Console read line. And we're just gonna see if this works. Update player. Player ID. String. Console write. What would you like to update the name to? String new name equals console read line. So we pass the new name and we pass the connection. $32.16. Oh yeah, console read line you only get a string. So we need to convert this. So we accept a string and then to int to number. Hmm. Console readline number int. Oh, the stream dropped there for a second. I think I'm back though. Out page. Try parse. Okay. If not int, parse, try parse, new name. Out name player ID. ID out ID. Is that what we do? Int ID. Let's ignore that squiggle and just say out ID. Okay, if new name and ID, player ID are not null. Okay, let's try that again. So it'll ask us, add a player. I would like to update number 2. And I'd like to call them Eric. And that did not work. Okay, let's not add new players for the moment. Oh, we didn't call update player. Well, duh. Oh, wait, yes, we did. Let's put that in curly braces. Just console right line updating. Updating. Let's try that again. Clear. Number 2, Eric. We didn't get updating. Oh, I can just convert it. Or I can just parse it. Ah, this looks old. 3 years ago. I'm sure it still works though. So can I say int here? And then call int parse? Get rid of you. And you. Player ID. Okay, let's give that a shot. 2. Eric. Hey, we got updating. And then what did it say? Unknown column Eric. My update is wrong. SQL update. Update table name. So this is the customers table set. And then we call the column Isn't that what we did? Update. This is the players table. Set the name. That has to be a string. What person would you like to update? Number 2, Eric. Updating. Let's see if it did. There we go. We fixed that name. Cool. Okay, so what have we done? We've created a table. We've updated a table. We've inserted All right. Now let's add a goal. It's fine to keep those. Static void add goal, and the goals console right line right would you like to create a new goal? Oh. What is your new goal's name? String goal name equals console read line and then here we need to take the goal name, string goal name, and we need the MySQL connection. Connection, execute, insert into goals. Values. Goal name. Goal name. I know there's a lot more than that. But let's just add a goal for now. Add goal, goal name, and the connection. If the goal name is not null. Spelling. Cool. We created a new goal. Okay. Well, I don't know what else I want to do tonight, really. Actually, I do. I want to add a goal, and I want to add a player. Well, see, here's the thing that I'm a little confused about, and if any, I have a goals table, and I have players. Now, I don't want people to be able to create goal names. Oh, my stream's down. Oh, my stream's back up. Have I been dropping out all night? If anybody is watching, let's see. Let me look at the viewer count and see if anybody is watching. No, nobody is watching. I just wonder if I've been dropping out all night. just recently. That's really unfortunate. Okay, so my question here is, I'm adding a goal, and these goals have a name, they have an ID. The thing is, I don't want to have goals that, like, I don't want to have multiple goals with the same name. I want to have one goal, the spelling goal, and then you can add players to that one goal. Players. So with a relational database, do I have to, how do I do that? So I have players, I have goals. Do I need to have a players goals table? Is that what I need to do? See, I don't want this one. Goal name. Yeah. This is what I think I want my goals to have. I want my goals to have a name, a total, and a created, updated, deleted. So do I now need a players goals? And this one will be like a joining. See, I'm dropping out again. I'm asking questions. Nobody can even hear me because I keep dropping out. Oh well. I'm gonna need to look this up and think about this off stream anyway. So if you've been watching, thanks for watching. And I will see everybody next time. We'll continue with this. Hopefully we'll get a little bit further. But thanks for your time. Catch you later.